them. So I have a ton of questions, but first I wanna give to you, Ray, a question that is coming up in the chat. People are saying that they're kind of discrediting this idea of Russia having legitimate security concerns, and they're saying that this invasion or this military operation by Russia, it's motivated by Vladimir Putin's desire to rekindle the Russian imperial empire. Well, what would you say to that?
Well, I'd ask them for the evidence of that, of course. It's really hard. After the U.S. overthrew the government in Kiev, which was properly labeled the most blatant coup in history, since we had intercepted conversations of the coup plotters plotting it. Okay, 2.5 weeks before the coup, when Putin got back from Sochi, closing up the Winter Olympics, it was the day after the coup. It was the 23rd of February, 2014. And he got together with all his advisors and said, well, what's the most important thing we have to do? They're saying that Russian can't be an official language anymore. They're saying they want to join NATO. And the most important thing, of course, look, we have an all-weather, all year round naval base in Sevastopol, right there in Crimea. We have to make sure that that doesn't go to NATO. How do we do that? Well, it's an accident of history that Crimea is part of Ukraine and not part of the Russian Federation. Khrushchev, when he came in 54, right after Stalin died, he needed a lot of help, and he thought, well, he's almost Ukrainian, right on board. He got a lot of Ukrainian support by saying, hey, let's give Crimea to Ukraine. Okay, that's how it happened. You mean, how did he do that? Well, he took a piece of paper, Khrushchev, and he did an ukaz. You know what an ukaz is? So let it be. Okay. So Putin said, well, I don't want to do that. Maybe we'll have a plebiscite. I mean, we know that how that would go. Most of these people are Russian stock. Some 80 to 90% of people would want to join us. So they did a plebiscite. And the vote, of course, was to rejoin Russia. Now, a month after the Crimea was annexed into Russia proper, Putin got up and there was a big celebration. He said, well, month anniversary here. He said, but I have to tell you, the real reason why we had to deprive Crimea from going to NATO. He said, we were not wanting Ukraine to go into NATO, but even more important, his words, even more important was to prevent offensive strike weapons from going on the periphery of Ukraine targeted at Russia. Now, that's 2014, April 2014. So I didn't include that in my remarks, but it goes way back beyond 16 or 15, 14, right after the coup. That was the benchmark. Now, the thing that I would like to emphasize here is there's not one scintilla of evidence, not one, that had ever entered Putin's or anybody else's head. Oh, let's annex Crimea until there was a coup in Kiev. And we know who arranged the coup. So, if there were evidence before that, even if the rhetoric from the West was so bad against Putin, it wasn't. It only started when we did the coup and reacted by protecting his sole all year round naval base set there by Elizabeth the Great, not Catherine the Great, for God's sake, at the same time as our revolution. So people can argue that the Soviet Union really didn't implode, that there's this revanchist sort of thing where they really want to take over the world again, or they really want to take over the rest of Europe, or the Baltics are next, or Poland is next. All I'd say is, give me some evidence of that, please. Have you been in the Baltics? I have. why the hell would no reflection here, but why would Russia want to take over the Baltic? I don't know. It seems to me the burden of proof is on those that say that the Soviet Union really didn't disappear. These guys still want to take over the world. There's no evidence of that. I'm sorry, I'm an evidence-based analyst.